Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 26th of November. So just a reminder, we've got 2 free days coming up in our trading room. That's Wednesday, Thursday this week, 27th, 28th. You're welcome to come and join us anytime. I'll put a link on the bottom of the YouTube video and or just below it, and also on our websites. But you can come and join us for 2 free days. Come and see what we do. We get questions all the time about how about day trading. Well, this is your chance. Come and give day trading a kick. Come and kick the wheels and see what we do and maybe learn something. Okay, so let's look at the markets and the euro dollar first. And what have we got going on? Well, yesterday did a little old doji in the end. It didn't go much in the way of range. I'm still wondering whether in the bigger picture we will see a continuation to the downside. However, we do have the weekly pivot sitting above here, which may be a draw, and there's a bit of divergence going on at the lows here, so the strength of the current move down isn't particularly convincing. Maybe it has stalled and it's slow around these areas, so maybe when you look at it from a 60-minute chart, you sort of draw a line along the lows there. It's run into its daily break of those lows, could see further downside. It's almost a wedge though, and you could almost draw the same sort of a trend line across the top there and say, well, actually it'll push up. Now I think if it breaks that daily pivot, it starts looking a little bit more bullish. It's not got a lot of range. If it does, it's about 10 pips up to the 50. But I mean, the weekly pivot sits all the way up there at 44. So you've got about, I don't know, 30 pips probably if the time it breaks to get up there. So or a bit less than that. He says it's actually about 28 or something like that pips, but it could happen over the next couple of days, so not necessarily an immediate reaction the way these markets have been moving of late, but there we go. That could well occur, as I say, if it breaks that daily. Okay, looking then, I should just check the news. There's nothing news-wise today. It's coming out. Well, it's a bit of US data. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 12 a.m. So 12 a.m. That's already happened then, surely. Certainly happened. Yep. So nothing coming from that of significance in that case. That's at 12 a.m. You can see little action. So aside of that, then we've got the US-wise consumer confidence 3 p.m. this afternoon, and that is it. UK time, that is. Sorry. Okay, that is round about it for the euro. So as I say, break of the upside there, looking for towards that weekly pivot in the next day or so. Maybe it's very slow to move, some 20-30 pips at times, these markets. Okay, looking at the pound. The pound's been a bit more volatile. Yesterday ended up putting in a bit of an inside bar there. Where to today? Well, it could just end up in this range, and it's tight. It could just end remaining in it. It's coming back towards its weekly pivot. Is there an opportunity on the long side? Maybe if there's a sort of flag pattern appeared across the highs here, you could be just drawing a line. If it breaks that, it becomes bullish. Otherwise, well, roll through that 34, could see us moving down to the S1, maybe more. There is an unfilled gap at the lows there, so anything significant in terms of dollar strength or pound weakness could see that gap filled. But for now, it's erring towards, in this sort of intermediate time frame, would be erring on a break of that on the bullish side. Okay, that's the pound. Dollar yen. Dollar yen is sitting there quite messy over the last few days. It did get a solid push up yesterday, risk back on and into the markets. Comments made by the members of the US there suggesting that the Chinese deal will be done, including Trump, of course. Spiky 4-hourly bar though here yesterday, spiked up there. Was it? I say yesterday. It's this morning. Was it on? Yeah, a bit of a negative volume bar there as well. So maybe we'll see more of a retrace from that. It does have a weekly pivot untouched below there at around about 108. Is it sitting? He says it's even lower than that. Is it? No. there it is, hidden away there at 108.65, say, somewhere in that region. So any continuation to this downside, well, certainly there's a daily pivot to be hit. Missed it yesterday completely, maybe a pullback, but at the moment with this sort of risk on situation, we could just see a continuation of the yen. It's not the strongest at the moment. Aussie dollar, it's the weakest, certainly one of the weaker pairings at the moment, certainly falling down there quite considerably. It's been sold and sold and sold. It looked like there was an opportunity yesterday at one stage if it got particularly long, but really you can just see it looking like it's selling off towards its S1. Not a lot of pips in it from where it is at the moment. There's 12 pips down to that S1, so these markets have really lost their volatility, but that's where it looks like at the moment. It could well, as I say, just sell off towards that S1. That's the Aussie. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar still erring towards the upside. I won't say surging, but a break of the trend line there could see a move back towards that weekly pivot, but it really is quite slow, but quite soft as well. Another one of the weaker pairs that's sitting there at the moment. And finally, New Zealand dollar, which is not really going anywhere at the moment. You see on this 60-minute chart, it's stuck there. There is some data. There's financial stability report 8 p.m. this evening, and that's about it. So there is some data due out later today, which may create some volatility there, but just stuck into its weekly pivot there. That daily 100 is hand railing, but if it can break that, well, it could be then pushing further. Certainly a choppy old mess in most of last week and the first part of this week. That's it for me. Other news, is there anything else that we should be looking at? It's a bit of Aussie data at 9:05 actually. Reserve Bank of Australia governor speaking at 9:05 this morning, and as I say, stability report for New Zealand dollar then, and then 10 p.m. the Reserve Bank of New Zealand governor speaking. So a couple of key speakers for the commodity based currencies. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.